Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today on my channel. Today I'm creating a layout for the Cocoa Vanilla design team using Bohemian Dream, my favorite. And this week we were challenged to create a layout. Actually, I should create a Christmas layout using non-traditional Christmas supplies. So I used Bohemian Dream and created a Christmas layout, but there's no Christmas paper in sight. Just pretty florals in purples and pinks and yellows and blues and all the fun stuff. So I decided that I wanted to start with a cut file. So I Googled a geometric Christmas tree and traced it with the trace feature using my using the Silhouette Design Studio, and then I cut it out of a couple papers. I actually cut it twice. So I cut it out of that dark kind of navy purplish blue, and then I cut it out of that light blue paper that you're seeing me stick down right now. So that's going to act as my, I guess, framing for it, and because I really wanted it to stick out. And then what I did is I used the back of the navy, and it's this beautiful floral color, and I just flipped it over and backed the cut file with it. So when you do this, you have to make sure that either A, you flip it in the design studio, or that you turn your paper around so you cut it backwards. Otherwise, that's not going to work. And actually, I had mounted the entire thing on white cardstock so that it had a place to actually sit and not fall through. So after doing that, I spared you from watching the entirety of it. It only took like 10 minutes because I'm slow, but yeah, I cut that out because nobody wants to watch me do that. It's pretty straightforward. And so this photo that I'm using is of my daughter. Recently we went to, there's like a shopping kind of mall, but it's like outdoor. It's like standalone stores, and they have like this beautiful Christmas area set up with like this huge like massive tree and this polar bear that you could take pictures with. Not a real polar bear, but like a, I guess a fiberglass polar bear. And she was just enamored by how large this Christmas tree was and the baubles on it. And she kept like just touching them. And I said, you know what, just at least look here so I could snap a picture. So that's this picture. And so I'm matting my photo with the design papers. And I just love this collection. Like, I mean, I'm using it for Christmas, for the love of, you know, Pete. Like, look, it works for anything. Like, if I can make it work, you guys can make it work. For sure. I'm totally enamored with this collection. Like, yeah, it's Christmas, and I'm creating a layout with it, and it has nothing to do with Christmas. There's no red, there's no green, there's no silver, no gold, nothing. You know, it's just gorgeous. I love it. So, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm still matting my photo. Because there's only one photo, I really wanted to make it like pop and stick out. And I think this time around I had a little bit of like distraction when mounting my photos. My kids were calling me, I couldn't concentrate, and it took me a little longer than normal. And I'm just using, you know, I'm doing the same old thing that I always do, which is to mount my photo and all its matting on foam sheet. So that's what I'm doing there, and it's going at the bottom, I guess, right of the entire page. So in this collection, there is chipboard titles, and I picked out the good, the word good, because it's all good. And so my title is going to be Good Tidings, right? Christmassy enough? Yeah. So I pulled out my thickers, and these are just a plain foam white thicker. And the word good, and there is my title, Good Tidings, right? Pretty simple. So I'm just going to poke out the extra cardboard that's in between. I always seem to mess that up. Maybe I'm too rough, but I always end up ripping things apart. That's just me. That's just the way I'm built. I'm not delicate at all. Everything just gets ripped into. There's the mop of hair on my head. So I'm eventually going to break into the ephemera. That's usually what I gravitate towards first, which is the ephemera. And then along with the vellum, and then I go into the stickers and chipboard and whatnot. But always with the ephemera, I start first. You know, isn't that odd? Like some of us, we have particular ways that we do things. Some people are all over the place, and that's totally acceptable as well. It's however you work. But I always feel that after I mount my photo, I go to the embellishing with ephemera. Funny, right? What do you guys do first? Like, this is something I always do. If you watch my videos, you know this is a regular thing that I do. But what do you guys do? I'm curious to know. Let me know in the comments below, and let's talk about this, because I need to know what everybody else is doing. So I'm picking out florals right now, and I'm going to create my clusters. So I know that I want to have a main one, bottom right corner, and that's why I left that extra space of papers around for my mat. And so I want that to be the main focus, but also keep in mind, I was keeping in mind here that I did not want to overcrowd this layout. Like it's pretty busy, and I wanted to keep it as simplistic as Lina thinks simplistic is, because this cut file is really generally simple, right? It's just a geometric tree. I wanted to keep it simple, right? And not take away from the element that is supposed to be Christmassy other than the photo, right? So I hope you guys are following me on that, and I hope that makes some kind of sense. So I'm just creating my clusters here. I'm doing what I do. I'm shopping around those die cut pieces. I also go through the vellum pieces that I'm now putting away, but I use those as my base because I wanted it to be softer, but I didn't want to add too many heavy pieces. So going through more ephemera. What am I looking for? Who knows what I was looking for? I don't know. What I have in my hand there are the accessory stickers. I'm starting with the little words. My favorite. So there's some beautiful, beautiful pieces in this collection. I'm just shopping around here. I'm not doing anything too particular. I was pretty indecisive this day. I had kids calling me from every angle. I only have 2, but that sounded like I had 5,000. You know, someone wanted something, and I was just like, Mama needs to scrap right now, kids. You know, deal with it. You can wait 5 minutes. I'm just kidding. But you guys with small kids understand what I'm saying. So in the chipboard package there are some chipboard hearts. And I used like 4 or 5 of them. And I'm just spreading them around my page in that bottom right hand cluster, and also at the top of my photo there, where I just have a little tab peeking out. I can't talk today. I haven't had any caffeine yet though, I promise. I should get some. And here I have the metallic gold thread. So when I pull out the thread, generally, probably like 100% of the time, that means that I'm going to use a flare button, and I'm making a nest of sorts. I hate calling it that, but what would you call it? I don't know. Let's just call it a nest of thread. Okay? Okay. So I'm creating a nest of thread for my flare button to sit on. So I just wrap that around my fingers so that it's circular. And mind you, metallic thread is it's not difficult, but it's just a little finicky to work with. It seems to like come undone and unraveled a lot more quickly or easier than traditional just regular sewing thread does. So I had to, like, it had started coming undone already just as I put it down. So I just unwound it and rewound it back around my fingers. So I'm using that flare, and it's like that minty greeny blue color, and it says one of a kind. Fits pretty perfectly because that kid of mine, that oldest meatball of mine, definitely is one of a kind. She broke the mold when she was born. And I'm just like adding the tiny little word phrases, which are my favorite. This video, I'm pretty quiet, huh? I just realized that usually I do a lot more talking. We're just watching this video now, aren't we? So I'm embellishing my favorite part here. What am I gonna grab now? Let's see. Oh, the enamel dots. So with the enamel dots, I'm going to pretty much decorate the tree. Does that make sense? So I'm going to use the enamel shapes and decorate the tree. And I'm going to make them act as baubles, I guess. Who calls them baubles? I guess I call them baubles, but ornaments. So there's hearts and there are dots, large and small, and the hearts come in large and small as well. So there's just a really good sprinkling. They're hard to tell on camera because of the pattern. That's the pattern paper that I used for the backing of the tree. But you'll see in the still photos that it's a little bit more predominant in the photos versus the video. Unless you're watching it on like a huge screen TV, and then it's probably more visible. So I've been really into using my Heidi Swapp Color Shine lately all over again, which is good and kind of bad at the same time because I'm running out of it, and that means that I need to either A, find it online somewhere because my Michael stopped carrying it, or I need to take a trip across the border. Anyways, guys, that's my final layout. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you for tuning in. Take care. Bye.